Well, it's winter again. Spring, summer. I don't know.
It's not too
Be
bad.
summer tomorrow.
I don't know. It will be summer tomorrow.
Will be summer tomorrow.
All right.
For sure.
We'll do the run. Come back. We'll be back right after this. Six years, you guys.
6 years.
Is today the day? Six.
It's where if we've
That
rolled
would
Definitely
over,
it was March.
Oh, yeah.
we've rolled over 6 years. We've been doing
Wild.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
6 years on the waffle.
this. We were wild, crazy.
We should have brought a cake.
Yeah,
I'm not a cake guy,
I'm not.
but
I don't feel like I need cake right now.
Depends on the day. We should have waffles.
A breakfast burrito, I'd eat that. Cake, I don't want that.
yeah,
Should have had waffles. but-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just more coffee. Just more
Yeah,
coffee.
I need an injection. I am sore. I've been working over at the Front Street property. It's coming close. There's about to be a commercial space available in
That's
Rogersville.
exciting.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, we need more of it. for
Yeah, we
sure.
do.
kidding
We
about
definitely
that.
need
We
more of it.
don't have any space over here at Jamestown, and I get asked all the time, like, "Wow, no, we're out of space."
Remember when you guys
Done.
bought the complex and like, will it fill up?
Right?
You knew probably.
Yeah.
what you
Well,
before,
I knew
but-
we would fill up the majority
Yeah.
of it, and and we have. But
And then it's like, oh, shared office space. Is that going to work? Oh, it worked.
yeah, it took a little while, but
Yeah,
it's
it worked.
definitely. Yeah, and we love our tenants over there too, by the way.
That's
Well,
such
I-
a great concept.
I started there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, now
The
that-
waffle started there.
The waffle started there. Yeah, and now I've got 2 bays here, and we're about to bust out of these.
Busting
so.
at the seams.
It's
Why
craziness.
our studio is now crammed in this little corner over
Yeah.
here.
If you haven't been to Jamestown in a while, you should take a drive over. It's changing rapidly, and
There's a lot of things changing.
a lot of
rapidly.
homes.
Yeah.
new things on the horizon too. Yeah, it's funny. I'm over here smiling and celebrating that, and I know there's a lot of people in town that keep our town
You're
small.
destroying our farmland.
You
That's
can
the latest one.
you can keep the character of the community even though it grows.
Yes.
Have
and
to
we
be-
should, and we will.
You
Good
have
morning,
to get out
Beth.
from behind the keyboard
Yeah.
if you're going to do that. Though.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's
That's, exactly
Yes, Beth,
right.
we've had winter, summer, and spring all in 1 week.
It's
It
so
has
true.
been- where was fall in there?
Yeah.
Come on, fall.
If you want to call fall, last night it was cloudy. It was cool but not cold. It was a bit fallish.
What day was that? Sunday evening? Let me think
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, it was Sunday because
Oh, so nice
I was-
in the evening.
I was gardening.
Yes.
And it was hot, and I got sunburned, and and then so we have our first soccer game tonight with the girls.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting, but
Yeah.
it's always hard because we have 2 weeks of practice, then we have spring break,
Oh,
and
that
then you
is
come
tough.
back and you play. Well,
Yeah, that's tough.
it's really hard to tell, some kids and families that you got to stay here on spring break. We have practice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's not we're just being, mean or
That's the
driven
commitment.
towards soccer only. We don't want families to have fun. No, you have to have 14 practices before Mission will
Yeah.
let you play.
Yeah.
So knowing we're going to have some kids miss, I
Miss
was
ya.
like, yeah.
Miss ya.
So I was like, well, Woob had done Friday and Saturday. I said, well, I'll do Sunday. So I was like, if anybody needs practices, I'll be at the field and I'll run a session at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Well, all that to say, hot, dying of, like heat exhaustion,
Yes.
working in the garden all afternoon. And then by 6, in the time that I was out there, I went from, wow, it's still kind of nice and warm, but the wind's a little chilly,
Yeah.
to an hour later, I was freezing.
It was
Yeah.
chilly.
All right, girls, let's get out of here.
I loved it. We went on a walk after I had a lot of things. It's been busy life lately. And we went on a walk, though, and I was like, this is my favorite weather. I love this.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about Wildcat sports,
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't want to bury the lead here.
Something big kind of happened over the
I was just
weekend.
giving a teaser.
That's
just
so
a teaser.
cool.
Yeah. State champs.
It's
That's
big times.
amazing.
So
It's a big deal, Pickle.
let's set the stage here. I knew that I couldn't be there Saturday. My daughter had her first collegiate track meet.
You gotta go to that.
Be at that. But I don't want to say this. I wouldn't have said it before, but I'll say it now.
Yeah.
I had circled that Vashon game. I went early in the season and saw, we got to play them in the semifinal if we get there. And if they
Yeah.
get there, that's the championship game. And
Yeah.
so I had circled that on my calendar before the season started. Vashon, so fun little history. When I was at Dexter over in Southeast Missouri for 6 years, I had a group of kids that played on the basketball team in my youth group, and they had a really good year. I think this was like 04, probably 03, 04. Yeah, it would have been 04 because my boys were already born. So.
Yeah.
So they go to the Final Four. That was the year. Do you remember Tyler and Ben Hansborough from Poplar Bluff? They went. Tyler actually played NBA. He went
That's
to
cool.
North Carolina and then played in the NBA. So that team from Poplar Bluff stomped Dexter, but Dexter was good in Class 4A. Went to the Final Four. They met Vashon. First time I'd ever seen Vashon play.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who's this Vashon team?" And I look at, they're an all-black school out of St. Louis. And I don't say historically
Yeah.
all-black school, and actually. Like incredible school, high academic standards. People
Yeah.
associate just basketball, but no, it's actually a quality.
Is it a private
education.
school?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
It's a public school.
Huh.
Yeah, and so I remember that day seeing them for the first time. They beat Dexter like kind of what we did in the championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
85-30. I thought I was watching the Harlem Globetrotters play.
And you're just like, what
It was
is
just
going on?
alley-oop
Yeah.
and dunk after dunk. Well, that put Vashon on my radar, and so of course they've had this stellar history. And
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
having watched our team play over the last 3 or 4 years, knowing what was coming in this year, I was like, my goodness, if there's ever a team that's going to beat Vashon,
It's this one.
it's this one.
And you said that. We talked about that. I can't remember where it was, the other day, coffee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I could tell you're like, we got a good chance.
I knew, I
Yeah.
knew we weren't just like maybe possibly if all things align. No, like we legitimately
We can
have
do
the
this.
team to run
Yeah,
with it.
we can do this.
Now, did I think we were going to win by 14?
No.
No, I thought this was going to be neck and neck. But the game,
That's
and so I
fascinating.
went. Woob and I drove up, just up and back, and then had practice when we got back for the girls. But we started out that first quarter won us the game. I think it was
Did it
like
really?
24-11, something like that at the end of the first quarter. We just punched them in the face. just
Came
punched
out of
them
the
in
gate.
nose, and they didn't know what to do.
Wow.
It was really
That's cool.
Well, I think I was in 5th grade when LR won.
82?
82.
Wow.
Yeah, let me think. 82. 10. I would have been 10, 11 years old. So, yeah, I was 5th grade when LR won.
That's the last
though.
basketball one.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time they won.
And would they have been? Was that Class 2 or Class 3?
Class 3A.
Class
We were
3A.
Class 3A then, yeah. No.
Back when there were only 4.
Yeah, there was only 4.
Yeah.
4 classes.
I couldn't remember because I knew in '82 Republic was 3A. That's where I went. I just didn't. Rogersville was quite a bit smaller, but
Yeah.
that shows the disparity there was back in those days.
back then, Republic, Ozark, Nixa, Willard, Rogersville, Marshfield were all about the same size.
Yeah.
So they
Republic-
were all 3A.
it was the population sign growing up. I remember saying 4,400.
Yep.
And what was
Really?
Raj? Probably 22, 24, something like that.
That's interesting.
So,
Huh.
it was. I still remember that we went to the games.
Did you?
I remember being there.
Yeah.
Cool.
That game. Very few people remember this, I think. But there was the championship. Was it the championship game? I can't remember. I can't even remember. It was either the semifinal or the championship. I mean, Rogersville won it in a nail biter, like literal alley-oop
Oh my
down
gosh.
the end of the court, tip it into the basket.
Yeah.
Win the
Buzzer beater
game,
kind of
buzzer beater kind of thing. And they had ran out of videotape.
Oh, they
And
missed
it.
it?
Was not on. It is
This
not.
is not recorded.
It is not on tape. It exists only in the minds of those of us
That
that
is
were there.
awesome.
Yeah. And you can't even remember who it was or
Oh,
which
No,
game.
that's
actually, I
funny.
believe it was Kyle Jessen.
Okay, well that I
And
remember.
I may have gotten that wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't think I did, but
Kyle, if
I
you're watching, let us
believe
know.
it was
Yeah.
Kyle Jessen was
That's awesome.
the guy.
There's a lot of guys from that team that are still around here.
Oh yeah, Mike Taylor's still around.
Oh yeah, I know Mike.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Remind me of the coach's name. I used to watch him do private
McDaniel.
lessons. What was it?
Gary
McDaniel. That's
Gary
right.
McDaniel. Yeah,
he used to when
passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, I used to work out at James River. They had a gym at the church, and it was real close to my house. So I used to work out there for like 15 years, and he was always in there, even in his advanced years,
cool.
Yep.
doing private sessions with kids. And
That's awesome.
yeah, he's legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a great thing for the school. I mean, that always brings a lot of positive attention, and it's a really good thing. It's
Well, we
very
were driving
cool.
home the other night, and we come in the city limit sign, and there's all the little championship. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get a new one.
Getting a new
We're
one.
getting a
That's
new
cool.
one.
That's very cool.
It's a hard thing, and having coached in a championship game and lost, a 1-0 game
Yeah.
with the soccer team a few years ago, you just go, you can't take it for granted. I mean, this
Yeah.
team was solid, and the fact that they just really just destroyed teams all year long. I mean, it took the number one team in the nation down to the final minutes to beat us. Like
That's wild.
that just shows
that's
how
wild.
And yet, a lot of things still have to go right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in that semifinal game against Vashon, they set a Misha record.
Yeah.
It's
like from the
73%
Yeah.
shooting from the field.
It beat something from like 1971 or something like that. It was
It's just
wild.
unreal.
It was wild.
And so all that to say, you can have that team, and if you have an off night, you don't win.
You don't
Yeah.
win.
And so it's and then you go, okay, well, we just beat Vashon. Schaefer was saying it really well after that Vashon game. Like, we haven't done it yet.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
tomorrow's game is dangerous because the team we're playing is not supposed to be here. They're underdogs. They're playing
Yeah.
with house money, and so
Yeah.
it just there's so many things that have to come into play to
And
win it.
there's not a lot of seniors, is that right? There's a few, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a couple. Obviously, Marcus Moore's is
Yeah.
our big, and then Sutton, our big 3-point shooter.
Gotcha. I
so
haven't.
You lose a couple, key seniors and some others as well that are role players, but the
Should
group
be good
coming
again
up,
next year. Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, when you got Branham and Titus Moore,
Yeah.
coming back, and you've got the Watts brothers, and so it's those boys are good, and there's some good, and Jack Sutherland's another one who's a sophomore, so you've got
Yeah.
3 of your starting 5 that are coming back that are.
We kept meaning to go to a game
Big
this
time.
year, and it just did not happen. Life is so lifey.
Oh, I hear you. I went to fewer games this year than I wanted.
Yeah.
'Cause, I knew this was the year, and of course how my beginning of the year has gone.
Yes.
And my
yes.
daughter's not a Palmcat anymore. She's graduated.
Well, I mean, you have
moved
different
on.
phases of life in a school district. Like I remember after my we like left, we were getting ready to be out of the primary school, and I remember thinking, oh man, like we're leaving the primary school, and that's something that I was like a building I was in very regularly for different things because being involved in PTA at the time and all that stuff, and like I don't set foot in the primary school anymore. It's
Yep.
kind of wild. Like you go through these phases of your life in school. And, right now we're in the, my girls are at the upper and we spend a ton of time, doing stuff there. And, it's like, life is interesting. It definitely has seasons. But Justy and I said multiple times, like, we need to go to a game this year. We need to go to a game. We didn't get around to it. But we will definitely try to go next year. That's amazing. Like, it's really cool.
It's fun. It's
It's
fun to watch
really
the student
cool.
body. They're having a blast with it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They showed up in force, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a fun day yesterday.
Well,
at school
I mean, the
celebrating.
student body needs to understand too. Like, it's amazing to get to have the opportunities to participate in these. Like, when I was in school, we were very much committed and did all the things, but we just didn't have winning teams.
Yeah,
You know, and it was hard. And it's you learn things both ways.
Sure.
To have those losses, but.
Well, I think we've
It's
been
really neat to be part of that. Don't take that for granted, I guess.
Well, and
yeah.
it'd be easy to do it, Raj, because we've here recently had a run
Big run.
where all
yeah.
of our sports have been going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Like our boys and girls the last 2 years have gone, well, this year the boys, we got beat in the district final game and
Yeah.
by the team that went on to win state, and so it's like sometimes the brackets don't align for you to go back, and you can be really good and still not make it to that state tournament. So we've gotten a little bit spoiled. Like, we just go
this
to
is
the
what we
Final
do.
Four.
Yeah, no, it's a huge deal. Yeah,
we got there because we've got kids that are taking it real seriously. And, and putting a lot of time and effort in. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Happy for the kids. Happy for the school and the community. And
Well, I've been off MLB for a bit since I'm irritated with their.
so you're not watching opening day this week?
No, we've been watching Banana Ball.
Banana Ball.
Banana Ball.
Savannah Banana.
Yeah, good stuff. It's a lot of fun to watch those games.
I've heard it's fun.
You can.
I'd like to go to a game sometime.
Well, we've got tickets. We're going to Kansas City in
That'd be
May
fun.
to see a live Savannah Banana ball game. We're pretty excited about that. But they stream them live on YouTube. You can watch them on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Live
Cool.
games. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
I've seen clips.
the rules are different.
Well, yeah.
And when
anytime you see a pitcher pitching on stilts, you kind of assume the rules are going to be a little bit different.
A little bit different. And a hitter hitting while on a unicycle and getting a hit.
That's impressive.
Getting a
hit.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Harlem Globetrotters earlier. This is kind
it's
of
totally the vibe of
another
that,
level.
yeah.
It is, but
except they're not playing the Generals every game, right?
No. They started off. It was the Savannah Bananas always played the Party Animals, but now they've actually got a 6-team league, and they're
all doing this kind of shtick.
Yeah.
But,
It's not like the Generals where they're like.
Let me put a little nuance on this. They're really playing a game.
Yeah.
They're really trying to win.
Yeah,
and you don't know who's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the rules are different. And so the kind of the one thing I had to get used to, and once I wrapped my head around, I'm like, oh, I get it. It makes sense. Every inning is its own little mini game. So you don't win based on the number of runs you score.
The number of innings you
Oh,
win.
interesting.
So if you win an inning, you get a point.
Okay.
And then the last inning, which is usually the 9th, but they only play 2 hours.
Yeah.
So if the 8th inning hits the 2-hour mark, then the 8th inning was the last inning.
I would say, would they ever get to the 9th? Because don't they stop and do dances and things like that? Too?
But you can't step out of the batter's box. There's no mound visits.
Okay.
So it's moving quick.
It moves quick.
Action,
so
constant
they have
action.
innings that last.
It's almost like they've listened to culture and said, okay, we got to fix some things.
They have, and they keep
baseball.
track of how long the pitchers take to close out an inning. So if they have a quick inning, that's a big deal. They do trick plays.
Yeah.
If you they keep track of successful trick plays, and if
it's bonus points, huh?
if the away team has more trick plays than the home team going into the last inning, they get a bonus point.
Okay.
Because
so like
every
trick play. So if I'm in the outfield, rather than just an easy can of corn, if I catch it behind my back, or
Can of
like
corn.
that,
yeah, a lot of times they'll bump it with their.
You've heard that phrase, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times instead of catching it, they'll bump it with their glove, and another fielder will catch it.
Okay.
And they'll screw it up too. They'll
Little volleyball action.
Yeah, they'll throw it to each other under their leg and some stuff like that. And it sounds gimmicky and gamey, and it is, except they practice that stuff because it makes a difference at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The last inning, every run counts as a point.
Okay.
So you'll have one.
So
team,
they want
Speed
to
round,
be
bonus
hitting.
round.
Yeah, and I mean they're.
Beth
they're
says she
legit
loves the
playing and pitching,
bananas.
and they're doing
Good audience participation and
double
tricks.
plays and the whole. I mean
That's cool.
It's a real game. It's a real competition. They're really playing to win. They're excellent athletes, and there's a lot.
Are they chugging a Coors Light as they go around the bases?
Um,
Because I've seen this in adult league softball, and I think that's a trick play.
it
When you don't
depends.
when you don't spill a drop after. Have you played some adult league, some co-ed?
I have, yeah. I played a little bit of co-ed. I watched more co-ed than I played.
I feel like that was the forerunner of Savannah Bananas.
We've had the recent conversation. Every once in a while, somebody will be like, "I'm thinking about playing adult league softball," and we're like, "Nope, like we're
I gave
too
that up
old. It's
about
not
15
safe.
years ago.
So
It's
I wanna
honestly not
say-
safe."
I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I hadn't played. When I first moved back here about, 19 years ago, some of the guys, John Field owned Summers at the River, and so we had a group from
Summers
church.
at the River.
Yeah, so we were out there playing all the time, and that was good fun. Well, I hadn't done that until a few years ago. Somebody randomly said, "Hey, we're missing some guys. It's real chill," and I was like, "Okay, why not? I'll go out." So I show up and they put me out in right field.
Yeah.
It's I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
First time up, I smack a ball, but it goes right to an outfielder and he catches it. I hit it smooth.
Yeah.
Next time up, got a hit, whatever. Well, I went the whole game without any ball coming to me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here comes one, and I tracked it for a long way, made the catch, and everybody was like,
Oh,
"Hey, can you come back next week?" So
Ballard can play.
I came back.
Oh, you can play.
I came back one week. They put me at third base, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to play the hot corner." But it's like I'm okay, but I'm not in that kind of shape. But it was like
there.
Yeah, but it was like 2 games, and I'm like, okay, there's a reason I hung this up.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this. You know?
No, it's
Well, I'm advocating for an expansion team for the Bananas to come to Branson. The Branson
would be the perfect spot.
Branson Bald Knobbers.
Oh, the ball numbers.
That
Getting ready to ask
would
what you
fit
with the
very
little
well
ears
in
on it,
Branson.
You know, I had
Yeah.
AI mock the whole thing up, put it on Facebook.
That
hoping
would
some
totally
attention. Maybe
fit-
somebody
that
like
would
Johnny
totally
Morris
fit
will pay
Branson.
attention.
How much do they want?
I don't know.
What's it? You mean?
I'm thinking.
Are you gonna put your pennies together and see if you can buy a
we could
franchise?
scrape together $100 million. I think we could.
100 million would
Oh,
do it.
build the
okay.
stadium,
Yeah,
you know,
that
the whole
seems
deal,
easy.
You know,
But do you need to build a stadium?
you wouldn't need to.
You could still call it maybe the Branson team if you did it out of the Ozark, where the Ozark Ducks used
It's
to
not
play.
big enough. They're selling out major league stadiums.
Yeah.
Major League Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time that they came
Wow,
through.
so you would need a legit stadium.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Okay.
not a stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
You
going to
can't-
Kaufman,
it's hard to
and
get tickets
and it
at
was sold
times.
out. You had to
Yes.
be in a lottery and
Yes.
get picked just for the opportunity to just.
How
you
about
have to be in a lottery to be
Yeah.
picked to get tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
they've
that?
sold out the Superdome last weekend in New Orleans.
it's crazy.
I gotta think MLB at the end would like this concept with numbers and interest declining. Does this in some way?
I think the problem is once they watch this, if you tried to watch baseball, you would be like, "This is not."
I'm trying to play that out in my mind.
I know,
because there's not a real way. Because like we said, it's different than the Harlem Globetrotters. That was always kind of
it was always it was
playing
just a
well
show.
with NBA because yes, it was just tricks.
Yeah.
Putt golf never took off quite on that level in a professional. They did have professional.
I don't think it is a competitor to MLB, but I don't see it necessarily bringing new fans to MLB.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to sort out because MLB's been asking that for a long time.
Yeah.
How do we get? And so we put the pitch clock out there. We've all these things.
And all they've done is lose fans
Correct. Yeah.
because they're ruining the game.
Well, they took the classic out of it.
Yeah.
And the adjustments
Well,
they made
there's
were not
a lot
popular.
of things. Like I watch a show. It's not appropriate for most people to watch. It's called Shoresy, and it's based off of a show called Letterkenny in Canada. And there's lots of raunchiness in it, so I'm just going to put that out there. It's not a family-friendly show.
Lauren
But
is not endorsing this show.
No, I'm not endorsing
She's
it.
confessing sin, right?
But
No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
100%. But it's about hockey, and so Shoresy's a spinoff of Letterkenny, and Shoresy is about hockey. It's about and which is something Canadians and hockey, they know all about it. I don't know anything about hockey. I've never.
Take off, you hoser.
Yeah. But it's obviously about hockey culture in Canada. And I mean, part of the episodes I'm watching right now is them talking about how we're losing our game because they're not supposed to hit anymore, and they're not,
they can't
all
fight.
these things, all the safety stuff. And part of that comes with our athletes in the U.S. have gotten bigger, faster, stronger. And so, and they also really aren't doping. I mean, maybe some of them are, but there's a lot of things happening.
Legal methods for getting bulked.
Yes, legal methods for getting bulked. And so, I mean, you're not, you are getting hurt really bad, and you also are getting paid a lot of money.
Yep.
And so you're like a
Owners
commodity.
don't want them getting punched
They
in the
don't
face
want
and not
them
able to
getting
play.
punched.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, baseball, football, they're not the only sport that this is happening. It's happening
the
across the board. They're trying to figure out, like,
When you're getting paid $20 million a year, they want to protect their investment.
so of course it's all going to change, right? The money has changed, the size of people, the training.
Yep.
Plenty of guys that used to play professional sports had other jobs, and now
That's
they're
right.
like the big guys are. I mean, that's a life career for them forever. Where they're making $100 million.
Yeah,
I mean,
play a
it's
couple
crazy.
years and you're set.
Yeah, so it completely makes sense that things were going to change, and they have, and it's not just MLB and it's not football, it's hockey too. It's been kind of interesting to watch this because it runs parallel with everything.
Yeah, it's true. It's happening in my sport too, in soccer. It's
Yeah.
across the board, and it's on one hand, it's awesome. You're seeing a level of play. And, I was thinking when
It's incredible.
you mentioned the '82 team. I was at the game, like I mentioned, the semifinal game, and I'm thinking, what would that be like to match up the two teams? And I'm guessing this year's team would just trounce the 82.
Oh,
right?
yeah. We were trying to explain
and
like
that's-
old baseball
yeah,
players to the
and
girls the other day.
That's
yeah.
that's not in any way to be disparaging toward the 82 team. In their context, what
different.
they did was amazing. But those guys just finished football, went out and played basketball.
They probably
and when
were
they finished
putting up hay
basketball,
all summer, and
they're going to go play baseball or run track. Nobody was specializing, whereas, you look at
No.
these kids, these are gym rats.
Yeah.
Who have done nothing but play. They might, well, there's, Jack Sutherland's an exception. He's actually a better baseball player than he is basketball player.
Yeah.
But more and more, you've got kids that are only playing that one sport or only playing that one sport seriously. And I think in '82,
Yeah, you played.
I bet
Yeah.
not one of those guys was a basketball only guy, right?
not.
So
It's totally different.
when I say that, that's what I mean is they would just
Well, I mean,
probably
that's
run that team.
changed in the past 20 years.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
been a quick,
That's happened
different
in
change
my-
in
in my
society.
kid's
Yeah,
lifetime.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we signed the girls up for the Park League volleyball, which is just a hoot, and it works perfect for our family because it's a 6-week commitment, and it's good, and it's one game on Saturday, and it's perfect for us. But realistically, it's like I have the conversation with the girls. I'm like, we're doing this Park League volleyball, but since you guys don't do club, you're probably not going to play volleyball in school because there's like 20 girls in Evie's grade who've played club volleyball, and it's like you just have to understand that.
It
like,
can happen, but
it's
the
not-
odds are stacked against
the
them.
odds are stacked against you, and it's not a negative thing. It's just kind of a fact. I think it's important to present the facts of the world to your kids. And I told them the other day, I'm like, your dad and I are not. We're not crazy dreamers. Like we're more of a like, here's the way we see the world. If you want to chase your dreams, we're not the people that ran off and chased our dreams all across the country. We were happy being close to family and friends, and we're a little bit of homebodies type people. And it's like it's okay to be that person. If you guys want to run off and chase your dreams, that's fine too. But like, you may not get the best advice from me on that because I've not done that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing though how quick, and you just kind of wonder, okay, if everything's changed this way in 20 years, what are the next 20 going to be like? We don't know.
Yeah, and I do think there's a shift. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday who was just asking me, hey, our kids signed up here to play Parks League soccer.
Yeah.
Hey, as a soccer coach, is there some things we can do to kind of step it up? But at the same time, we don't want to go the club route. And keep in mind, the person I'm talking to, money is not an issue for club sports. He was placing a value on their family schedule and their family values. And I told him, I said, hey, look, we take kids every year that don't play club soccer, and they, in soccer, you can still do this.
Yeah.
20 years, I don't know. But
I don't know, yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting to here is I'm already seeing a trend reversal.
I agree. There's people
I
having
will
those
say
conversations.
I don't think it's an anti-club vibe necessarily, but there is more of that, and there is definitely a greater consideration of what am I signing up for? Like, when we went through this, I just remember my boys were 7, and somebody saw them play, and they'd only played Parks and Rec, 5, 6, and 7 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and they're like, "Hey, your kids are good. Would they come play us a club?" And we were just like, "What's that?" Like, it wasn't okay. Let's do that. This is our ticket. And they're gonna go to college and get full rides and then go pro. Like, it was not it at all. It was like, "Oh, sure. Like, they love it. Let's play a little more."
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's kind of like the frog slowly being boiled, right?
Yeah.
Next thing we know, we're being asked to do more, and now we're traveling, and it was a couple times a semester. Now it was like every weekend we're traveling, and we had to have conversations along the way, but it wasn't mapped out from the beginning.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think there's enough stories being told where there's this cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
People are taking notice.
I think it's fascinating to discuss and talk about the changes of the world because change happens faster now than it ever has before.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no doubt about that. And I think you get to a point where you're like, oh, I didn't realize, like you said, it takes time, and then all of a sudden it builds, and then next thing you know, you're like, whoa.
Well, and your perspective shifts too.
Yeah.
As you get older, because I remember, growing up, being 10, teenager, whatever, the way things were, in my mind, that's the way things always had been,
right?
And always,
and the way they ought to be,
and the way,
get off my lawn
would be, because that's all I had ever known.
That's how to say
that's
it.
all I had ever known.
Yeah.
But 50 years later, 40 years later, at 55 years old, I realized.
Seen a few iterations of the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, the idea of like, oh, we've got a hometown school and our hometown sports, and we've got cheerleaders and we've got football, and that sort of scholastic environment culture. It felt at the time like it had been that way for 50 years, and maybe it had, and would always be that way. And I'm looking back at that now, going, well, 100 years before that, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that at all.
Wasn't like
100
that.
years after that, it's not going to be like
And
that.
now our hundreds are like 20s.
Correct.
And I
To
think
some
our
extent,
I
it
think
does
our
move faster.
20s will be it does move faster because I mean people
change happens quicker. For
It
sure.
does because people lived in generally the same way until specific advances in technology, right?
And now those advances come much
Faster.
Much quicker.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, what was 100 is now 20.
Yeah.
What is 20? We don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know if we're going to hit another jump like that. Where
My dad went to a one-room schoolhouse when
Sure.
he was in
yeah.
elementary.
Well, Jesse basically almost went to a one-room schoolhouse. So I mean, it's not.
You think about this. So we were at the dinner table last night. My brother-in-law from Chicago, he and his wife and his two little girls were over for dinner, and the conversation came up about when we went to college, nobody had cell phones, meaning Shane and I.
Yeah.
We remember one friend whose parents sent her with a car phone.
You went to the computer lab if you needed to use a computer.
I didn't know
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause
know
you
what
didn't
an
have
email
one.
address was when they told me what my email address was.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have an
Right.
email address in college.
Right.
Yeah.
They gave me, and that was 94. And they said, you're going to need this. And I was like, what is this? We'll teach you in the computer class. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, but we were talking about her brother, who was 4 years younger. When he went, a lot of the kids, so in
yeah.
4 years' time,
Huge.
sending one kid to college, sending the next, everybody had some little basic cell phone, T9
Yes.
texting, the brick,
I am
Nokia,
the brink of the cell phone
right?
generation.
And so, yeah, he's about your age, a little bit older, a couple
we
years
as
older.
16-year-olds, it wasn't unusual for us to
Yeah.
get a Motorola Nokia cell phone when our parents had car bag phones, some of them.
Yep.
We had cell phones at 16, but they were like emergency. Not everyone had them. You had to
Sure.
pay for text messages. You had a time
Yeah.
frame where calling was free and wasn't.
You'd only text people on your same network.
Name
Right.
that-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
so-
If they were on Singular and you were on Verizon, you couldn't text.
And
Yeah, I forgot that.
you didn't really carry your phone with you all the time. You just had it
Weren't
to call
attached to it.
home.
So in this conversation, we're recalling when my boys were coming into the middle school years. A lot of these kids already had iPhones,
Yeah.
and we said no.
Yeah.
but we'll get you a track phone, right?
Yeah.
So they could text and they could call, and they were almost embarrassed
Yeah.
to have that when all these other kids have smartphones.
Yeah.
Well, now fast forward. Here I'm talking to my brother-in-law. His kids are 7 and 4.
Yeah.
And of course, he is a computer programmer, and so
Yeah.
he understands technology really well. And he's like, "Yeah, we're going back.
Yeah, my kids- yeah.
someday they will have a text and talk only phone."
Yeah.
But think about how the pendulum swings there. Now
Yeah.
we know what we once
Well,
didn't
we didn't
know.
because we weren't. And
We
again,
weren't
that's why
prepared.
we need to talk about
Yeah.
this stuff. You need to talk about the change. You need to be open to it. Have the conversations about it because it comes so fast.
Well, we've
now.
screwed up a generation, and we've hopefully learned
Yeah,
some lessons.
and it's the same as smoking was when they
Right.
told everybody it was healthy to
Healthy.
smoke. It was okay,
You're gonna
and then
need
we're
this.
like, pump the brakes. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like the same as asbestos
You got-
is an amazing
yeah.
material for insulating. Oh, it also will kill you. I mean,
you
it's
got
like
you got to have a smartphone, or your kid's not going to be safe.
Yeah.
and then you find out you
Well, that was
traded
probably
in
the
one
worst thing you
safety
ever-
for another danger.
a gauntlet of other
Maybe a worse
non-safe
thing.
things.
a much worse danger, right? So yeah,
We better wrap
fascinating
up.
stuff.
Is there anything
Okay.
happening in Rogersville we need to talk about real quick? I don't know.
Spring sports.
Spring sports.
All right,
is
girls. Hey,
happening.
we've got our first game, and it's a home game against Ozark tonight.
I'm sure I'm
Love-
forgetting something. I don't know.
Love to see you out there. But yeah, baseball was playing last night.
Lincoln
tennis,
Days,
golf.
Marshfield,
Lincoln Days.
Saturday night.
There you go.
That's cool.
So you can go over there and
I have no idea. My
see
brain's
what's going
not
on with
working
Republican
what's going on.
politics and Lincoln Days Saturday night.
Politicky.
I gotta go.
yeah,
me
you
too.
do.
Me
I gotta go.
All right.
All right. See you next.
Have a great week.
Thanks for watching.